Hey Raiders Nation, what's good? Buckle up, because we're diving into some serious Las Vegas Raiders talk today. The big question on everyone's mind: should the Raiders sign a new defensive tackle while Christian Wilkins recovers? This is a spicy topic, Raiders fans, and it's got us all buzzed with anticipation. Wilkins was supposed to be our game changer, but with his injury shaking things up, are we ready to roll with the current squad? Or do we need a veteran to step in? Let's break it down in true silver and black style, with all the passion and grit you expect from your Raiders news source. Stick with me as we unpack this in 8 electrifying scenes. And let me know in the comments what you think the Raiders should do. We're kicking things off with a blockbuster move that had us all hyped: the Las Vegas Raiders signing Christian Wilkins from the Miami Dolphins. This wasn't just any signing. Wilkins was coming off his best season yet, racking up stats that made every Raiders fan dream of a dominant defensive line. The plan? Pair him with our edge-rushing beast, Max Crosby, to collapse pockets and make quarterbacks sweat. Wilkins was set to be the interior force we've been craving for years, pushing the pocket from the middle while Crosby wreaked havoc on the edges. Can you feel the excitement we had when this deal went down? But here's where the plot thickens. Wilkins hit the ground running, notching 17 tackles and 2 sacks in just 5 games, numbers that scream impact. Then, boom, a Jones fracture in his foot sidelined him for the rest of the 2024 season. That's a gut punch, Raiders Nation. Posts on X lit up with disappointment, with fans like at Victor Four and at Adam Schefter confirming the surgery and indefinite absence. The question now is, can the Raiders defense hold strong without their star DT? What do you think? Did Wilkins' injury hit you as hard as it hit me? The Raiders are eyeing Week 1 against the New England Patriots for Wilkins' return, according to sources like Silver and Black Pride. But recovery from a Jones fracture is no joke. It's a challenging process, as Coach Pete Carroll put it. Vincent Bonsignori on X even noted that a screw breaking or re-injury could delay things, though the vibe is optimistic for August. Raiders fans, are we feeling confident about Wilkins being ready to dominate by the season opener, or should we be looking at backup plans? So, what's the game plan while Wilkins rehabs? The Raiders aren't sitting idle. They've got a deep defensive tackle room, but depth doesn't always mean certainty. Let's set the stage for what's next as we dive into the current roster and whether they can fill the void. Who's ready to step up, and who's got you worried? Drop your thoughts below, because this is where it gets juicy. Let's talk about the crew holding down the fort at defensive tackle. The Raiders have a mix of veterans and young guns: Adam Butler, Zach Carter, Leki Fotu, Jonah Laulu, and rookies Tonka Hemingway, JJ Pagay, Tank Booker, and Trevin Mai. Adam Butler is the standout here, coming off a career-best 2024 season. According to Silver and Black Pride, Butler's leadership and production make him a lock to start, especially with Wilkins out. His $3.98 million cap hit in 2025 is looking like a bargain for the value he brings. Who else is loving Butler's rise to the occasion? Now, let's zoom in on Leki Fotu, the 6'5", 335-pound B-sign to a 1-year, $1.4 million deal. Yahoo Sports highlights Fotu as a potential nose tackle anchor, with the size and strength to clog up running lanes. But here's the catch. He's not a full-time starter historically, and the Raiders need someone who can handle the load. Can Fotu step up alongside Butler if Wilkins isn't ready? Or are we putting too much faith in a guy who's been more of a rotational player? What's your take, Raiders Nation? Then there's Zach Carter and Jonah Laulu, 2 names that spark intrigue. Carter's a returning vet, but his role is unclear. Can he handle a starting spot next to Butler? Laulu, a Las Vegas native, is a wild card. SI.com notes his versatility to play both DT and end, but locking him into one spot might limit his impact. Should the Raiders let Laulu roam or define his role? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on these two. Drop a comment with who you're betting on to shine. The rookie class Hemingway, Pagay, Booker, and Mai adds depth, but they're improving. Silver and Black Pride mentioned the Raiders drafted Hemingway and Pagay to bolster the line, but undrafted free agents like Booker and Mai are long shots to make an immediate impact. With so many question marks, are we confident in this group, or should the Raiders look outside for help? Let's explore that next. Here's where things get spicy. Should the Raiders sign a veteran defensive tackle to bridge the gap? With Wilkins' return uncertain, the front office might be eyeing the free agent market. SI.com suggests there are plenty of experienced DTs out there who could sign a short-term deal to hold things down. One name that pops up? Quinton Jefferson, a former Raider with a decade of NFL experience. At 32, he's no spring chicken, but he could still bring solid production. Who else out there could be a game changer for us? Jefferson's familiarity with the Raiders makes him an intriguing option. He's been around the block, playing for multiple teams, and could slide right into the rotation. Imagine him pairing with Butler to keep the line stout until Wilkins is back in action. But is a short-term veteran the answer, or should we trust the young talent we've got? The Athletic mentioned the Raiders roster is full at 90 players, so adding someone like Jefferson would mean cutting someone else. Tough call, right? What would you do, Raiders Nation? Let's not forget the bigger picture. The Raiders' defense is built around its line. Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, and a healthy Wilkins are a nightmare for offenses, as SI.com pointed out. Without Wilkins, though, the pressure's on Butler and company to step up. If they falter, it could expose the entire defense. Are we overreacting to Wilkins' absence, or is this a legit concern? I want to hear your hot takes in the comments. The free agent market isn't just about Jefferson. There are other veterans out there who could provide depth and stability. The question is, do we make a move now or roll with the current squad and hope Wilkins is back by week 1? Let's dig into the stakes of this decision next. All right, Raiders Nation, let's talk about what's at stake. The Las Vegas Raiders defense was a bright spot in 2024, even with injuries to stars like Crosby, Kuntz, and Wilkins, as SI.com noted. Getting those guys back healthy in 2025 could make this unit one of the NFL's best. But here's the kicker. If Wilkins isn't ready for week 1, the whole defensive game plan could take a hit. How confident are you in our D-line holding up without him? Patrick Graham, our defensive coordinator, is a master at scheming around talent. But even he needs the right pieces. Wilkins was supposed to be the anchor, collapsing pockets and freeing up Crosby to do what he does best. Without him, teams might double-team Crosby, leaving our interior vulnerable. ESPN reported that Wilkins' 17 tackles and 2 sacks in 5 games showed his potential. Losing that production hurts. Are we ready to face a team like the Patriots without him? The Raiders' offseason moves, like signing Lecky Fodu and drafting rookies, show they're planning for depth. But as The Athletic pointed out, a full roster doesn't mean a set roster. A veteran addition could stabilize things, but it's a gamble. Cutting a young player for a short-term fix might hurt long-term growth. What's the smarter move? Trust the youth or bring in a vet? I'm torn, so let me know your thoughts below. As we head into the season, the Raiders need their defensive line to lead the charge. Wilkins' health is the X factor, but the front office has options. Let's break down what this means for the season opener and beyond. Week 1 against the New England Patriots is looming, and it's a chance for the Raiders to set the tone for 2025. A healthy Wilkins could be the difference between a statement win and a shaky start. According to ESPN, Coach Pete Carroll is carefully optimistic about Wilkins' recovery, but that's not a guarantee. If he's not ready, can Butler, Fodu, and the gang hold it down against the Patriots offense that's looking to exploit any weakness? What's your prediction for this matchup? The Patriots aren't the only challenge. The AFC West is a gauntlet. Think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. A strong defensive line is non-negotiable if we want to compete. SI.com gave the Raiders high marks for their offseason, but injuries like Wilkins can derail even the best laid plans. If we start the season without him, the pressure's on the rest of the line to step up. Who's your X-Factor player in this group? Let's talk about the rookies for a second. Tonka Hemingway and J.J. Piguet were drafted to add depth per silver and black pride. Could one of them emerge as a surprise starter if Wilkins is out? Or are we putting too much on improving talent? The Raiders draft class got praise from PFF.com for addressing needs, but rookies often need time to adjust. Should we bank on their potential or look for a proven veteran? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The season opener is our chance to show the NFL what the Raiders are made of. Whether with Wilkins or without, the silver and black need come out swinging. Let's look at how the current DT room shapes up and what it means for our defense. Now, let's zoom in on the current defensive tackle room and how it fits into Patrick Graham's scheme. Adam Butler is a veteran leader, stepping up big time in 2024. SI.com called him a rising star in the organization, and his ability to mentor rookies like Hemingway and Pagay is huge. But can he carry the load as a primary DT if Wilkins is sidelined? Raiders fans, are you feeling good about Butler leading the charge? Lecky Foda's signing was a sneaky good move. At 6'5" and 335 pounds, he's a space eater who can clog up the middle per Yahoo Sports. But his history as a rotational player raises questions about his stamina as a starter. Then there's Jonah Laulu, the hometown kid with versatility to play multiple spots. His flexibility could be a weapon, but as SI.com noted, pinning him down to one role might not maximize his potential. Who's got the edge in this rotation? Fodu or Laulu? The rookies, Hemingway, Pagay, Booker, and Mai, bring potential but also uncertainty. Silver and black pride highlighted the Raiders' focus on bolstering the DT position in the draft, but expecting rookies to step into starting roles is a big ask. Could one of them be a breakout star? Or are we better off with a veteran like Quinton Jefferson? I want to hear your predictions for who steps up. The defensive tackle room is deep, but depth doesn't always equal reliability. As we head toward training camp, the Raiders need to decide if they trust this group or need to make a splash in free agency. Let's talk about the bigger picture for the defense. The Las Vegas Raiders defense is poised to be a force in 2025, but all hinges on a defensive line. Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, and a healthy Christian Wilkins could make this unit elite, as SI.com pointed out. Without Wilkins, though, the balance shifts. Butler and Fodu are solid, but can they handle the load against top-tier offenses? Raiders Nation, how confident are you in this D-line stepping up? Patrick Graham's schemes thrive on versatility and pressure. Wilkins was a key to collapsing pockets from the inside, freeing up Crosby and Kuntz to dominate. If he's not ready, teams could exploit the interior, putting more pressure on our edge rushers. ESPN noted that Wilkins' injury exposed vulnerabilities last season. Can we avoid a repeat in 2025? What adjustments do you think Graham will make? The free agent market still has options, and the Raiders have a history of smart signings. Quinton Jefferson's experience could be a plug-and-play solution, but there are other veterans out there too. The Athletic mentioned names like Kazir White and MJ Kendricks as potential fits elsewhere on defense. Could a DT be next? Should we make a move now or wait for Wilkins' recovery? Let me know your strategy in the comments. As training camp approaches, the Raiders need to lock in their plan. A strong defensive line sets the tone for the entire defense, and we can't afford to start slow in the AFC West. Let's wrap this up with what it all means for the silver and black. All right, Raiders Nation, here's the bottom line. The Las Vegas Raiders are at a crossroads. Christian Wilkins' recovery is the key to a dominant defensive line, but with his return uncertain, the front office has a big decision to make. Do we trust Adam Butler, Lecky Fodu, Jonah Laulu, and the rookies to hold it down? Or do we sign a veteran like Quinton Jefferson to bridge the gap? This choice could define our 2025 season. What's your call? The Raiders' defense has the potential to be a top unit, but it starts up front. SI.com and ESPN both praise our offseason moves, from retaining Patrick Graham to adding depth like Fodu. But injuries like Wilkins remind us how fragile that potential is. A short-term veteran could stabilize things, but banking on youth could pay off long-term. Which path are you leaning toward, Raiders fans? Let's not forget the big picture. The AFC West is brutal, and we need to be ready for Week 1 against the Patriots. A strong start could set the tone for a playoff push, something we're all hungry for. Whether it's Wilkins, Butler, or a new face, the defensive line has to lead the charge. Who's your MVP for this group in 2025? Raiders Nation, I need you in the comments. Should we sign a veteran DT or roll with the current squad? Drop your thoughts, predictions, and hot takes below. If you're hyped for the silver and black, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with every Raiders fan you know. Stay locked in for more Las Vegas Raiders news. We're just getting started.